On my way back, just finished racing 11:47. Hello. There's still a race on the track. My God. We're literally going to finish at midnight. 11:47, and I am pulling out of Northfield now on my way back to Brunswick. Long weekend, a long last 48 hours. A little bittersweet tonight. We'll get to that in a second. I told you guys I woke up this morning, had a great day training at First Line Training Center in Ontario. Had a great day training at Mohawk. Jason filled me in about how well the horses trained here. There was no complaints from either side of the border that I could talk of or speak of today. Now, got here tonight, I got here actually a little bit early tonight. Went back down and got a drink down here at the smoothie place, and watched Delicious Stone race. I was worried maybe he injured himself, re-injury. You're always worried, right? You get these horses coming back from injury, regardless of how long they've been off and how good they seem and how good they qualified. You always have that concern. So when he made the break in a weird place in the middle of straightaway, I'm like, oof. I'm watching the head-on, seeing if I could see him coming at us from way, way back, because you couldn't see him when the race finished. And sure enough, I could see him finish up, and then Dominic messaged me and said he just put in a couple of steps and kind of caught Julie off guard, and he rolled off on her. Well, my question, it would be directed towards James, who schooled him and qualified him. Does he need the hobbles on? Are you comfortable? Do you think the way he qualified, if we race him like that, you'll be able to get him around, he'll be fine? Keep in mind, this horse never wore the hobbles till we got him, right? He went in 52-3 at the Poconos without hobbles on. So it's not that he's necessarily in dire need of hobbles. It's just a question I have for James. He does not have to qualify. We will race him next week. Obviously a little disappointed, especially how they fanned across the track. The two favorites beat each other up. One would think if he had any pop to him tonight, which James said he qualified well on a bad day. If he had any pop, who knows, would he have kind of wiggled his way through? I don't know. And we'll never know. He made a break. So there's next week with Delicious Stone DK. Rose Run AJ, I think we all knew what we were in for. This is the first start of a sophomore's season. There's no need to rough him up. James took him to the back, raced him on the end of it. Horse that qualified twice in 2 minutes. Again, with the bad miles and the bad track and the weather, you don't know what you have. You don't know what he's ready to do. Plus, I had said this earlier, to get these horses ready and into racing shape, not just training, he trained good. I mean racing and winning shape. You have to be able to put consistent miles into the horses. And when the training days at Mohawk are canceled on Wednesdays and Saturdays, from what I was told, virtually all through January, you're left training one fast mile a week, if that, and you're trying to train at the farm when the Mohawk's closed for training. So if Mohawk's closed for training because of the weather and the track, what do you think the training center 15 minutes north looks like? Not ideal. So yeah, he got ready, but was he ready? Ready to rock? No. The one thing about our horses, and I stress this to our trainers all the time, I want our horses ready to go. They don't need to be raced conservatively because James is already going to race them conservatively. Have them ready to rock. And usually they always are. It's nobody's fault. It's just the weather and the way it is. You saw that with Arson, right? He came out of the box, qualified in 58 or 59 a couple of times. The races were canceled because of the weather. We couldn't train him up tight in between, and he looked like a lost soldier his first start. Second start, he was in the same postal code. He was close, but still looked present. In a tiny bit softer the other day. Third start back, obviously the horse looks better, and he's going to look even better next week, and he'll look even better the week after that. But this is what the weather has forced us to do in Ontario, is get the horses ready best we can. I hate best we can. But, again, got to play the hand you're dealt. So Roser and AJ, I thought qualified okay. First start was good, closing on the end of it, 55-28 on the end of it. He'll get better his next couple of starts also. Horse that looked awesome was Trosa. Again, there's a perfect example. We're now 5-6 starts into Trosa racing in North America. By far his best mile, 52 and a piece, 27 flat on the end of the mile. You don't get much better than that in March 8th. March of your spring season. Pacing 52, come a quarter in 27 seconds. That's a big mile for Trosa. So happy for Dan and Harry. Harry's trying to get everything moving forward. It's tough when you're trying to juggle all these different balls and get everything moving, and the weather's not cooperating. The track is not great. It's very frustrating, and I do feel his pain. But you only have to look across the track. Right horses for the right class coming in sharp. When we sent Rosetta over, when we sent all the other horses over, right? They're all ready to rock, and they'll be ready to rock when they get there. I'll make sure of it. But God, that's loud. But that's what it's a game we're playing right now. So some of them are ready to go, and other ones are playing catch up. But they'll all peak at some point in the near future. Happy with Trosa, happy with Rose Run AJ, and I'm not unhappy with Delicious Stone. I can't really say how I feel about that. To have Julie drive the horse. She doesn't know the horse. She doesn't know much about him, and I can't really say why he made the break. To be honest, I wasn't paying super close attention. I was listening to it as we were driving down the road, and I made a break. Now we got to Northfield. Both horses had a shot tonight. No, I want to end with Irresistible Sun, so I'm going to get to Fire and Shine. Open Bridle. She's hard on herself. No one likes going with Fire and Shine because she is so wild and hard on herself. She's been that way her entire life. All right in the race. I had no problems with her in the post parade. In the race, just a sweetheart. Did not put the hood with cups on her because Jason said she was wild in the warm-up. So now she's left to race with an open bridle on. That's why it took so long to get to the front. One, I knew the kid was going to turn me anyway, but I didn't want him to stretch me at the same time. I wanted to get there. I didn't really want to drop in the 3-hole. It's a mixed bag of horses anyway. And I think this filly, another one. Track was closed Wednesday and Thursday. Now that I think back on it, no time to train her. So it's Thursday, back Saturday, no training in between. Had I had this little epiphany as we were going on the track, I may not have left with her, I suppose. Listen, I'm not worried about Fire and Shine. She is tough. She's not a killer. She's maybe a watered-down version of I'm Fancy Like, right? Not quite as good, not quite as deep. She has some talent. She's a lot nicer to drive than she is to jog and train, I can tell you that. But I never have a problem with her. I always like the filly that way, but I don't get to spend as much time with her as other people. And she will come. She'll learn to be a nicer horse. At 2, she was just, if you guys remember back, trained her down, what kind of a little mongrel she was. Run away, couldn't control her, just crazy all the time, but got better. And her best 2 races of her life were her last 2 races as a 2-year-old. And she wasn't bad tonight. A little weak on the end of it, but I think it was more that 9 days, right? Trying to get her ready. This is what Ontario looks like. We went through it tonight. 9 days from qualifier to race, no training in between. There's nothing you can do about it. Next week should be tighter. I noticed she was on the right line a little bit finishing up. Around the last turn, she got on it, and then down the lane, I kind of had to scoop her up once when I was trying to chase her through the middle. But with that open bridle on, there's the TV, there's all these horses there, and she's just kind of looking around. I think if we have the blinkers on her tonight, I drop her into the passing lane. Maybe I'm 5th anyway, but I'm 5th beat half a length, not a length and a quarter. I think I was 5th, I might have been 6th. Whatever. It's not a gigantic amount of money either way. But she will get better. I'm not worried about her trip tonight. She will get better. Now, the thing that did bother me tonight was Irresistible Sun. I told everybody we'll drop this horse in and try and get him a little softer class. He was kind of a tweener, right? I said that in my email to my partners tonight. He was in between. He looked like he just couldn't quite. He was kind of good enough, but when you get up into that now when there's a 5'8", he just wasn't quite there. A little soft when he should have been strong. It was frustrating me. He hasn't been in this cheap since he was a 2-year-old, probably. He needed this start. But now he's out of that class. I was going to have to bring him down to Southern Ohio, where he could likely do. Man, he looked some kind of impressive tonight. But that's kind of how he looked in the Buckeyes last year, right? Beating up on... And I'm not going to say watered down, because some of them were good horses. And man, he trotted 52-4, 53 one night in Scioto. They're good horses, but not those battle-tested chip on their shoulder, age trotters. Not quite as deep. You know, the front end was very vulnerable. When I knew it, Sonny knew it. You could almost hear him licking his chops. When I moved him, he just bolted and he was gone. Felt like $1 million, best he's felt since last season. By far. The night he went here in 58 and got by Aaron to win, he beat a wounded soldier. He beat one that was looking to get beat. And he just won. The thirds, the fourths, you know, all his lines look okay, but not the Sonny I expected. So as I go under the wire, and I knew, Keith Cash had told me before the race that one of his clients, who oddly enough was associated with Irresistible Son, the breeder of his Irresistible Son, was going to claim the horse. Whatever. You know, when you're halfway down the lane, I'm thinking, I think I got caught with my hand in the cookie jar here. But then that other side, you know, the defense jumps up and says, hold your horses. This is win number 7, pari-mutually speaking. He can only win 3 races before he's out of that non-winners of 10. And quite frankly, although he looked impressive tonight, if you were going to make me pick between him and Memory and Imagination, after the race it's tough. Before the race, slam dunk Memory and Imagination right now. After the race tonight, the way he looked, the way he felt, knowing that he wears no gear, he can accelerate quick, and he is Sonny. He was Sonny tonight. I might pick Sonny. It's a pick. It's almost a coin flip when it comes to those two. They both now have 7 pari-mutuel victories. They likely both will now square off in Southern Ohio. Different burns, I guess, unless they want to race Irresistible Son here. But now he's up like where 3-point blue chips class is. As much as I love Sonny, he wants no part of 3-point blue chip. I can guarantee you that. Not from where I sit anyway. So it's that I really do like stealing wins, but I never like getting caught. And it did feel like we got caught a little bit tonight, but at the same token, where do you go now? If I thought he was a slam dunk in the 45 claimer for non-winners of 10 at Miami Valley, he would have been in there. Off his recent form, I didn't feel super comfortable trucking him down there to race in there. After tonight, you know, does he use this race as a foundation race to springboard back into the shape that he was in, or does he just really like beating up on horses he's better than? Now, when he gets in with other horses that are as good as him or better than him, and he really has to tussle for the lead or come first over into one that maybe doesn't want to let him go by, who knows what happens. Either way, it's done. That's the way it is. We're going to continue to aggressively enter our horses because that will result in wins. And once in a while, they're going to pick one off, or you're like, kind of wish I could walk that one back. But like I said, I couldn't foresee a way he could lose tonight. And it's not like he was a slam dunk. I'm pretty sure he wasn't even the favorite going to the gate. Anyway, that was tonight in a nutshell. We'll all wake up tomorrow. Sun will come up. It's not the end of the world. It opens up a class for Memory and Imagination. I obviously didn't want these guys tripping over one another. Sonny being an Ohio bred, he was going to get preference over Memory and Imagination anyway. So interested to see if that is their plan, or maybe they just plan on racing up here. I don't care either way. It's up to them. But it does leave the door open now for Memory and Imagination to go where I wanted them to anyway. So that's where we're at with this, with what took place tonight. Fire and Shine will get stronger and will get better. I wasn't shocked, especially now that I think it through a little more. I wasn't shocked that she was 5 feet a length and a half. She's not a monster to begin with. She's just a nice run-of-the-mill filly to drive. She's really difficult to jog and train, but not a bad little filly to drive. You know, I think there's some few little things we can work on. We can get her trained up tight. We can work on that stuff. Maybe close her up. And I think you're going to see a filly. I think this filly will pace 56, 55 this year. As I said, just a kind of a watered-down version of I'm Fancy Like from last year. There's nothing wrong with that at all. There's classes for her right now, and I don't foresee her getting in any sort of classification issue, having any issues in that regard for quite some time. So although she was 5th tonight, she didn't make a fool of herself. I thought she raced all right. I thought Sonny raced exactly how he was supposed to race. I think I've talked enough about that. I thought Trosa raced fantastic. I thought Rosa and AJ raced very admirably. First start off the shelf, coming off a couple of 2-minute qualifiers, regardless the weather, the track, or regardless, it's still 2 minutes. Pace 55.28 at the end of it today. Good start for him. I think from what I saw, probably needs a couple more starts. And then Delicious Stone just got to pull your socks up, get back to work. The good news is, mechanically, he was fine after the race. It was just a little bit of an odd step, a little mistake on his part, made a break. But hopefully that's a one and done going into next week. Now tomorrow, speaking of 3-point blue chip, he's in. What are his odds tomorrow? 3-1. He trained good this week. He seems good coming in. He also needed a start. I think we're going to be all systems go tomorrow night coming off the car with him and our boy Patrick. 9 holes, so maybe we'll get a good trip. He's 6-1. He's coming in sharp as attack also. And both of these horses are tight. They both trained this week, and they're both sharp coming in. So tomorrow, I hope for a good day. Greatest ending on Monday. Neptune and our boy Drebin on Monday also. Tuesday, we get Dancing by Myself and Tenacious Hanover. Number of horses also not on this list that are entered that will be racing. I know the Country Dancing is back in. I know that Westland Warrior is back in with the hobbles on. We'll talk about that more tomorrow in tomorrow's videos. We are entering Spitfire Overseas at Miami Valley, so I've taken myself off Caddo on Wednesday evening at Northfield. I've taken myself off my drives at the Meadows. Ronnie Wren has jumped on both of those horses again, and I will be hopefully making my way to Miami Valley on Wednesday afternoon to race in a perfect world Blue Ventura and Spitfire Overseas. We'll see how that plays out. They draw tomorrow. So that is the weekend in a nutshell. Man, just a quick little rundown. When I woke up Friday, we had all the babies to train. We had racehorses to train. Everything, for the most part, I was happy with. Nothing that is on the top of my agenda. I have to work on this horse or I have to work on this. Everything went pretty well. Got to the Meadows. A winner in the open trot in the easiest kind of way, but looks like money. Arson raced fantastic. You can see in the direction he's heading now. Arson of old is back again new and should be in very good order heading into the next 2-3 weeks and beyond as we get closer to Kentucky, I guess. Rosa and Alexander, lots to work on there. I talked to Harry and our blacksmith a little bit about shoeing today. I think you'll see a much better Rosa and Alexander next week also. Oh Hill No was great, almost as good as Rosetta. And Foxy Seaside was 4th. Paced the fastest mile of her life, I believe. Showed a little blood. We can fix that. Very manageable. So all signs pointing in the right direction on Friday evening. And then tonight, an unfortunate break from Delicious Stone. He'll bounce back. Rosa and AJ clearly needs a couple of starts, but looks like he's trending in the right direction also. Trosa was awesome. Irresistible Sun was fantastic. And Fire and Shine was decent. So a pretty good. All the horses trained good. The babies I went with in Ontario were good. From what I heard over here, everything went really well here too. Super happy about the last 48 hours here at the stable. Hopefully we can keep this last 2 weeks rolling right through the month of March into April. So I'll let you guys go. Go to bed. It's 10 after 12. Take care.